A warm good morning to everyone. As we have all gathered here, we have gathered here for our 25 in-house training, and the very first training will be started by our principal, Father Reji Varghese. So I kindly invite Father to start our session.
Warm morning to all dear and beloved teachers. First of all, I would like to welcome once again back to the school after a short break. This year, most of us were engaged with the examination. Many of you had break. I think only the Power Madam and me was totally engaged from day one till now. As we are going to start our new session after the break, we have to go through the regular routine, but before we start our routine with the students, there are plannings to be done, and the planning, if done properly and with correct direction, half of our responsibilities may be fulfilled. As you know that CBSE has made it mandatory that 25 training of in-house as well as from CBSE has to be taken. Last year we have done both in-house as well as CBSE training through online. But this year we are expected to take everything offline because everything is normal. But this normal is not just an ordinary normal, but we know that it is going to be a new normal, and in this we have to find out way out to express, communicate, as well as plan the things according to the new normal. For today's topic, which I would like to introduce you, is with regard to an pedagogical plan. Annual pedagogical plan is a plan which normally every school has to do for that particular year. But what CBSE is now pointing out is that we have to take specific topic on which our plan should be based on. It should be specific, it should have a time frame, and it should be result oriented. For last many years, and especially in this last 3 to 4 years, we have focused mainly on experiential learning, art integrated learning, joyful learning, inclusive learning, competency based learning, and many more. The primary objective of these methodology to be adopted is to enhance the learning experience. These methods are employed in our lesson plan to have a meaningful communication with our pupils. So now coming to the lesson plan, as we all know that lesson plan is a learning trajectory for a lesson. It is also a roadmap what students need to learn. Without a proper lesson plan, we may not be able to deliver the content as required by the current need of our. So lesson plan always should focus the need of the hour, and it should also be dynamic. So the next thing what we may look into next slide. Why lesson plan requires updation or modification? As we know that lesson plan is not static, but futuristic as well as dynamic. As you know that we all used to say that the present education system is based on the English education pattern and mainly focused upon creating administrative level of people or clerical people. For last many years, it has gone through many changes, but it is not able to come out from that nostalgic understanding of teaching learning process we started with English education. So with the new education policy, lot of changes are expected to come. And as you know that why these changes is required, it is to update with the need of the hour. Because 21st century, you know that rapid changes in the knowledge landscape and technological advancement is happening and will happen. Within 5 years, you find that what all job vacancies or the job requirements what we see today may not be because of the continuous and rapid changes in the technology. Next slide. As you know that if our students are not updated with the upcoming technology, upcoming advancement, the mainstream in future is difficult to predict. So, what are the challenges of 21st century? Let us see. Here, 21st century education requires creativity, innovation, empathy, problem solving, teamwork, strategic thinking, and entrepreneurship, as well as learning to accept failures as part of their development process. So these are the challenges what we may be facing, and when we plan our lesson, we have to take all these into consideration and we have to work out our lesson plan. Next. So, the 21st century pedagogical requirement can be summed up into two categories, that is innovation and entrepreneurship. Based on this, we have to work on. Next. As you know that this is very well known to each one of us, Bloom's taxonomy. It's in a pyramidal shape and different levels of understanding and levels of different levels of teaching also being reflected through this Bloom's taxonomy. The lowest level, what it shows here is the remembering. Next level is understanding. The next, applying. The third level is applying. Fourth level is analyzing. Third and fifth is evaluating, and sixth is creating. On the basis of this, we have to work out our lesson plan. Mostly, as you know that pen and paper test restrict the first and second level, and we may not find the third level ever being tested in the education system so far. But for the last 2 years, CBSE has introduced competency-based questions. So we are forced to move into the third level, that is applying, as well as fourth level analyzing. But still, you find that evaluating and creativity is missing from each class. Next. So, we will move into Bloom's taxonomy and its application. I am just going through a brief introduction of this and move on to the main topic. Why I want to take this, because you all know, but still we focus on it so that we can plan our lesson in much more effectively. When we are planning a lesson, then we have to see that whether all this level of 6 level of delivery should be properly taken into consideration. Suppose we are discussing a story. After discussion of that particular story, or after delivering that particular story in the classroom, if we ask, what can you remember about that story to a student, then that particular student may, from his memory, he may say about that particular story, and that only catches the need of that first level, that is remembering. Suppose we ask that particular child to summarize that particular story in his own or her own words, the next level of understanding is reached. That also, sometimes I feel that we are able to look into or reach to that level, because many a time you see that as you are the head examiners, many of the teachers coming for evaluation, they just follow the marking scheme literally word to word, and because of that many students are not getting proper marks. They are not able to interpret that particular marking scheme out of the box what the student may be writing. So what shows that teachers are much behind or much far away from the actual meaning of pedagogy. They are still following the traditional method of reading a particular lesson and explaining and making the student learn, and they will give a particular answer to each question, and that answer should be printed without a mistake. That is what we check. We are not checking that whether the student is able to change the answers what you are given in his and her own word, in a more dignified way to present, then that particular child has reached the level of understanding. Now coming to the third, suggest how many lessons in the story could help other young people. When we talk about a story, we only restrict our total concentration upon that particular story itself. And we never try to compare with the other person or how we will relate to the other person. When that particular lesson becomes an example for others, or it may help other people, that particular child is able to apply that particular story with other situations. Especially India is, as you know, that full of stories. Storytelling is an art in our particular culture. Here we are not just relating, we are not just reciting the story, but many a time when we take about the people who are in the main character, to relate it with our life or the other person, and see that whether that particular example in that story is being applied or come into application into the day-to-day life. So if a child is able to relate that particular story with other person, then that third level of Bloom's taxonomy is being implemented. This is with the science also. When you teach them a particular topic, when you give them a particular definition, when you give them a particular theorem, that theorem, whether it is able to be applied in a different situation, then if child is able to relate it, then that applying third level of Bloom's taxonomy comes into effect. Fourth, why did the different characters in the story behave the way they did? Here is a critical analysis of that particular story. In a classroom, when we put particular story or a poem, we have to analyze that particular characters, situations, and if we are able to analyze that particular situation, or a child is able to analyze that particular situation, then that particular class level has reached to level 4. Coming to the fifth, evaluate the main character's decision to leave. We talk about Ramayana. We say that Rama went to forest for 40 years of vanavas. But never we able to put a question to the student, why that particular character has taken that decision. That decision, what being taken at that moment is crucial. Why Lord Rama is forced to leave Sita to the forest. So when they start thinking about that particular decision, that particular character's decision, that particular character's approach towards that particular situation, then only we can say that that particular classroom has reached to the level 5, that is value. So every class should go through the remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing and evaluating. But the last level is what we taught, displayed over here is creating. When we talk about creating, how many of you, after completing that particular chapter, ask student to recreate a story similar to with a different and in a different situation? Then we find that creation or creative class or creative lecture has happened. So every topic should go through these particular level of understanding or level of teaching process, where students may be able to experience different level of their level of capturing that particular topic from a different angle, and they may be able to develop their inner faculty to make more sharper the different levels what we taught or what we talked over here. As we now coming to the topic of today, as I just mentioned in the earlier slide, that the annual pedagogy what required for 21st century is what we call as ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship. Ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship. If these three elements are not there in our pedagogy, that is the sixth level of Bloom's taxonomy, we may be failing to reach the target of our lesson plan. Now, according to the new NEP, every school should be an incubation center where ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship should take place. Every class should undergo such type of understanding as well as change so that we can really meet the target what NEP is pointing to us. Next one. Now coming to how to create IIE, that is how we can become an ideation center, an innovation center, or how can we develop entrepreneurship mindset in our school curriculum is first to create pedagogy that involves problem-solving approach, out-of-box thinking, and encourage youngsters to emerge as individuals with discerning minds and firmness of decision.
we have to change our pedagogy in such a way that it may able to solve problems, it may able to think our pupil out of box, and it may encourage youngsters to emerge as individuals with discerning mind and firmness in decision making. So this is what the first order what we have to develop while planning the IE in this school. Next. Secondly, now introduce the concept of ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship to students at all levels. We may think that it should be restricted to only class 9 and above or 6 and above. But here the new NEP focuses or says that every level should cover this ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship in the way what we used to teach with different experiential level of teaching methodology what we used to follow in the classroom. So we have to make every level we have to make a plan. What should be this year's ideation? What we are going to put in this particular stage. Foundation stage here it is mainly meant for kindergarten to class 2 level. Preparatory is class 3 to class 5, and middle is 6 to 8, and secondary level is class 9 to 12. So each level should have its own method and methodology to introduce ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship to students. So we have to plan when you go for subject meetings. You have to plan all those things beforehand and make a plan which may be more compatible to the need of the hour. Now the third thing is that involve parents. Many times what we do in the school is not being communicated well to the parents. So it is our responsibility during PTM. We have to present what we are going to do, why we are doing this. All these things have to be communicated to the parents so that they may also able to inspire students or the children to work out their learning process in that way. Otherwise, normally, as you know that parents are more concerned with the writing work, learning the particular notes what being given, and they may always, and we have seen that from the time when we have introduced different activities, so parents started saying all activities and no studies. But as you know that these rote learning is going to lead them nowhere, rather to make them smart. So we have to decide how much level of remembering, how much level of understanding, how much level of applying, how much level of evaluating, how much level of creating. All these things we have to decide and plan accordingly properly, and that we communicated to parents. Next. Community participation. Here we in our plan that every stage they should undergo some sort of community participation to achieve this ideation, innovation and entrepreneurship. Schools shall engage volunteers, NGOs and community centers to make students more and more involved in this particular aspect of teaching learning process. Next. Fifth is toolkit of innovation. Can you tell me, have you heard this word toolkit? When you first heard this particular word toolkit? CA, farmers agitation. The first time we come to know about toolkit. What is toolkit? That is their normal. What you say that repair, that is hardware repair kit. But in the software as well as in this particular what do you call?
Actually, Father, toolkit is the process, the entire process of doing all those activities to achieve the goal.
Right.
Through the internet and all.
Right. When we started social media, how our goal can be achieved? How we can visualize our goal? We should have a master plan. Day 1 this, day 2 this, and day 3 this, and every day it should not be the same method. Every day it should be different method of approaching that particular target. So through different means of means and methods, the particular goal or what we decide to is achieved, and for that making that particular format is called toolkit. So same way as you know that for agitations now they are using this toolkit, but we also have to use this toolkit for our education, for our pedagogy. Then only you see that what we are planning, what we are designing, what we are expecting should effectively communicated to the students. A toolkit of IE shall be created and published in the school on its website. Toolkit shall include all pedagogical methods developed or adopted by teachers along with anticipated positive impact that it can have on the developing and in students. What happens? We do many things. We are doing all those things. What been spoken over here. But the problem is that we don't have any master blueprint. And that blueprint, what we call, is toolkit. It should be published. It should be published in our website. It should be communicated to the parents. It should be positively made known to our students. Then only students may know that what is our mission, what is our vision, the vision of school for this particular year, what our teachers have planned is have to be put into a toolkit and published. Next. Now, as per the new NAP, we have to set apart 2 hours, minimum 2 hours, minimum to dedicate in a week to be dedicated for compulsory thinking activity, and that on the basis of curriculum. It should not be that you have to make or a separate rule is being created. You have 5 days in a week. In that 5 days, you have to see that after completing that course, 2 days, how you can set apart for tinkering activity. Tinkering activity should not be restricted to science itself. As I said that in English also, In history also, these tinkering activity. Tinkering means when you start thinking, analyzing, creating, it becomes a movement, and that movement have to be positively given, or what we call, it has to be positively transmitted to each and every child. Then you find that every classroom has become that. We are doing it, but we have to make it sure that every week when the coordinators come together, these activities, what we plan. Normally it is been said that in class only teaching and homework at home. Now the homework concept has now been changed. Now what they say that it should be flipped classroom, flipped learning. You have to master learning. How you can master learning? Learning should, teaching should be sent through videos prior to the class, and the homework should be done in the class. When they start doing homework in the class, then you find that lot of space for creating, applying, analyzing should be. Normally now we take much of our time in explaining in the classroom. Because of that, students, some will learn, some will understand, and some of the students will totally put a blank on what we teach. So we have to see that how we can change our method. We are coming to the next. Here, promote soul. What is soul? Self-organized learning environment. Self-organized learning environment in the school campus has to be developed. Self-learning environment in the classroom environment has to be created. How we can foster this self-organized learning? When we give tasks to students and minimum interference of mentor, you will find that a lot of creative activity as well as innovation happening. We are giving less time. We talk a lot about that, giving specific topic to be dealt with, but not able to. As we are just going through counseling, when we ask them to just introduce them, they are not able to even tell about themselves. They only say name. So why this has happened? Because most of the classroom has become passive, not active. So until and unless students may come out and speak and be their contribution, they may not be able to. One parent said that the child is here from nursery till here. Not even a single word she is able to utter. She is silent, she is good, but she is lost. That should not happen. Every child should realize the personal capacity of themselves and build that personality in the classroom. The classroom should be a place where they have to formulate themselves, their personality, their ability, their vision, their way of approach. All these things, everyday topic we may relate, when we relate and make them contribute in that, we find that changes happening within them. Yesterday we had a workshop for the slum students. Around 80 students came, and we were surprised to see the potentiality what they have. We call them slum dwellers. Some of them were able to speak English better than our students. So where we feel we are, where we are, Our students may not be able to put the physics definitions properly in their own words also. But these students were able to. And that is what, they are so enthusiastic, so interested to learn the new thing what we given. So that is something which we have to learn. Whether our classroom has become dry, whether we have fallen apart from the main agenda of teaching learning process. Next. The new NEP is focusing on backless days. 10 backless days has to be designed in turn with local vocational experts such as carpenters, gardeners, porters and artists. Now schools have to design this in their curriculum. We conducted 5-day workshop camp during the summer. We called an artist, a potter, and students love those particular forms. So when they do something with their hand, they feel confident. They start relating their subject with them. They, while making the code, they learn about the circular motions. So these things a science teacher can very well relate and teach them and make it more effective. So we have to plan. We have carpenter over here, we have gardener over here, we have artists over here, and we need any other person who can mentor our students. We can bring them also. But this has to be planned in a proper way. According to their level, we can teach them. According to their level, we can relate these things with our top. Next. School Innovation Council. Establishing a School Innovation Council, SIC, as per the guideline of Ministry of Education Innovation. Every school should now create a School Innovation Council. And under it, an innovation coordinator as a single point of contact has to be selected. Then setting up of innovation club, and that innovation club mainly focuses upon topic centered as well as project based. Topic centered means a particular topic which they might have undergone in their curriculum, and on that particular topic they have to work with. That club will do different types of modeling, and after that they will present in a fair. So in that way it has to be developed in the school environment. So next, collaboration for exposure. The last thing what we have to do to students. We have to collaborate. It's a high time that we have to collaborate with different agencies. Teaching is not restricted to our own responsibility. We have to see that some of the good parents, those who may be a good trainer, some may be a good entrepreneur, some may be good at different skills. So we have to bring them up and make specific programs so that students may learn from them. Without exposure, the education what we do become a total dry land. We have to give them opening. What they have learned, it should go beyond the classroom also. And not only when exposure program should be initiated, it should go beyond the classroom also. They also should go and give their particular share of knowledge, or they have to share the knowledge what they are gaining to the other students or less privileged. Then you find that the knowledge has become becoming a concrete reality to ideate, innovate, and create. So I hope that this small brief understanding what we have gone through is to make you aware about this year's pedagogical plan what we have to take is based on this innovation, ideation, as well as entrepreneurship. We have to work out. Now I have given you just a few hints to think. Now you have to work it out. How you can work when subject teachers come together. Last year we started working about art integration. That doesn't mean that art integration integrated project or learning or inclusive learning or competency based learning should not. These are part of this ideation, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So when we club all those things, when we put our mind, our focus on that particular IIE, and work out all those things clubbed together, we may be able to reach out. But before that, we have to make a toolkit with regard to it. All the coordinators should stick together and make a toolkit for each class. And we have to publish, and we have to tell it to our parents and to students. Communicate. This is the vision. What we are planning for this year. If we do that, our teaching process or pedagogy will be more effective, and students may be able to feel that lightness in the class, and they may be able to love coming to school. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for this wonderful and informative session, and we will definitely will implement all these pedagogical planning in our lesson plan as well as in classroom teaching methodologies. Once again, thank you, Father, for sharing your knowledge and ideas with us. Thank you, Father.